Governor Scott Walker in the news for equating union membership with terrorists who kill people. Governor Scott Walker in the news. Yesterday he was at the CPAC convention where all the top Republican honchos are, those interested in running for president. He was asked a question about how specifically he would deal with terrorism and ISIS. Here was his response. He said, quote, "If I can take on 100,000 protesters," meaning the union protesters in Wisconsin, "I can do the same across the world." Now, here's the difficulty for Governor Walker. There's a huge difference between the level of scrutiny you have when you are a statewide candidate, even in a major state, versus the scrutiny you get when you're running for president. When you're running for president, everyone is looking, the media is looking, your political enemies are looking, the commentators are looking, and they're looking for weakness. Now, this particular response would have been a great response if Governor Walker had been behind closed doors, speaking to a Koch brothers conference, speaking to fundraisers. But this was in a very public arena with media from all over the world there. And predictably, a lot of people are upset by this comment because there are some people, not just union members, who are saying, look, you're saying just because someone is in a union, they are a principal at a school, they've worked hard their whole life, they show up at school every day, they want a raise, they want a pension, and you're saying that person is the same as a terrorist who kills people? That just strikes some people as over the top, bizarre. Here's the challenge for Governor Walker. When you're running for president, every time you speak, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on what you say. And you really have to do two things when you speak. Number one, say things that excite and interest your base. That's the first goal. The second thing is you have to say things that come across as reasonable, rational, and intelligent to everyone else across the spectrum. Now, you don't have to appeal and make everyone across the spectrum like what you say all the time, but you have to at least seem to be reasonable and fair-minded and rational. By that score, these comments get an A+ for Governor Walker on the first part, exciting his base, but it really gives him an F- on that second part of appearing to be rational and fair-minded to moderates, Democrats, independents, political observers of all stripes. So here's the thing. I don't write off Governor Walker. He's been rising in his stature the last month. He certainly eclipsed Governor Chris Christie and some others who had bigger names last year. And this is not the sort of blunder that destroys a candidacy. The interesting thing about presidential politics, for those of us who are political junkies and follow this closely, and it's almost a year out from the first real vote, it's interesting to see how candidates make stumbles but then learn from it or not learn. Some candidates come into this with huge reputations and they crash and burn. Look at Rudy Giuliani. Look at Senator Fred Thompson in previous election cycles. Great reputations, high polling numbers, awful candidates. Didn't learn anything on the campaign trail. So that's what's interesting about it. You never really know. And that's why you just have to watch every day. I'm TJ Walker. I'll be watching for you right here.